Madonna. Thanks. Begin.
Okay, we're going to call the February 20th, 2025 meeting of the Albany County Planning Board to order. List of board members present. Brian's here, Jeff is here, Tayshawn is here. So we have a quorum.
Kate will be here.
And Kate will be here. Kate Powers will be here momentarily. Do you guys have any cases today that you need to recuse yourself from?
Nope.
I do not either.
Great.
Okay. We'll leave the meeting minutes from January 2025 till when Kate gets here.
Yes. Yeah. The end of the agenda. Yep.
Okay. I need a motion to move all the referrals with staff opinion of deferred to local consideration to the front of the agenda so we can vote on them as a group. Make the motion. Jeff? That's a big shot. Yeah. I concur.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start. Okay, first case. Ordinance 65.11.24. Applicant, Albany City Council. From the City of Albany, referring agency, the City of Albany Legislative Board. Consideration. Amendment, the zoning ordinance, chapter 375 of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to the requirement for signs. Staff opinion is deferred to local consideration. Case number 230 Myrtle Ave Garden Level Unit. Applicant 13 Leaves LLC, care of Costadan Cacani. Referring agency, City of Planning Albany Board. Consideration. Special use permit for the conversion of an existing 1,043 square foot structure at the property from a 2-unit to a 3-unit townhouse. Defer to local consideration. Next case, 232 Myrtle Ave Garden Level Unit. Applicant name 13 Leaves LLC, care of Costadan Cacani. Referring agency, City of Albany Planning Board. Considerations, special use permit for the conversion of the existing 894 square foot structure at the property from a one unit to a 3-unit townhouse. Staff opinion, defer to local consideration. Next project. The KIPP Middle School. Applicant's name is KIPP Capital Region KIPP. Referring agency, City of Albany Planning Board. Site plan review for the expansion of surface parking lot containing 35 new off-street parking spaces and circulation improvements located at the existing KIPP Middle School, along with a connection to the Tivoli Preserve. And staff opinion is defer to local consideration, but we have an advisory note for this one. The advisory note reads, the applicant should provide the city the revised stormwater plan that meets the requirements for the entire site. Next case, Cannon Properties. Applicant's name, Stephen Quick. Location at 422 and 424 Fifth Avenue, City of Watervliet. Referring agency, City of Watervliet Zoning Board of Appeals. Area variance to build a two-family home on both vacant parcels. The staff opinion, again, is defer to local consideration. And again, this case has an advisory note. The applicant should meet any flood zone requirement per the city code before final approval. Next case, Baum Hendricks variance. Applicant's name is Jerome Baum and Kathleen Hendricks. Location is 783 Woodstock Road, Camp Woodstock. Referring agency is the Town of Burns Zoning Board of Appeals. Consideration, area variance for the proposed deck, a shed, and a metal roof over the trailer. Staff opinion is deferred to local consideration. We're going to pull this next case, right? Go pick up the next case.
Yeah,
to
the
defer.
solar project.
The solar case is going to move. It's going to be done with our modifies. Then our next case is the Glenmont Shopping Plaza. Applicant's name is Benderson Development Company LLC, 376 and 388/392 Furbush Road, Glenmont. Municipality, Town of Bethlehem. Referring agency, Town of Bethlehem Planning Board. Site plan amendment for the proposed 6,240 square foot addition, partial demolition of 8,176 square feet and conversion of 14,779 square feet space to a grocery store. The staff opinion is again defer to local consideration. Advisory note also with this project. The town should ensure that a demolition review is provided by the applicant to ensure no hazardous materials are present on site. Next case, Worcester Land Division, Charles Worcester. Hot project location, 53 Wheeler Road, Glenmont. Referring agency, Town of Bethlehem Planning Board. Considerations, land division of an existing parcel to create a plus or minus 1.9 acre parcel suitable for a single family dwelling. The staff opinion is again defer to local consideration. Next case, Abrams Complex Addition. Applicant's name, Afram DJ and Afram Sports, Inc. Location 969 Waterville Shaker Road. Referring agency is the Town of Colony Planning Board. Considerations, site plan review for the proposed construction of 8,800 square foot steel frame building and 1,730 square foot connector building to provide access to and from the existing clubhouse. That opinion is deferred to local consideration. Next case, American Tower Generator. Applicant's name is American Tower Corp. Project location is 968 Albany Shaker Road. Referring agency is Town of Colony Planning Board. Considerations, site plan review to install a backup 80 kilowatt generator, diesel generator within the existing wireless communications tower existing in the property. Staff opinion is deferred to local consideration. Next case, amendment to chapter 190 of the code of the Town of Colony. Applicant's name is the Town of Colony. Referring agency, Town of Colony Legislative Board. Considerations, amendment to chapter 190 of the code of the Town of Colony, specifically regarding definitions and use standards. Staff opinion is defer to local consideration. Next case, office to apartments renovations. The applicant's name is Whitman Holdings LLC. Project location is 435 New Carner Road. Considerations, area variance for the proposed renovations of the existing 41,475 square foot, two-story office building into a mixed use building. Staff opinion opinion is again defer to local consideration with an advisory note. The note reads, the town zoning board should consider the precedent setting nature of converting office buildings into mixed-use buildings with residential uses in the office residential zoning district. Next case, local law number 1 of 2025, moratorium on certain residential development. Applicant is the town of Guilderland. The referring agency is the Town of Guilderland Legislative Board. Considerations: local law to impose a 4-month moratorium on certain residential development consisting of subdivisions involving 5 or more single-family lots. 2, multiple family developments of 25 or more dwelling units. And 3, assisted living, independent living, and nursing home development consisting of 50 or more dwelling units. Staff opinion is again deferred to local consideration. Next case, McCownville Fire Variance. Applicant's name is the McCownville Fire District. Project location, 1250 Western Avenue. Referring agency is the Town of Guilderland Zoning Board of Appeals. Considerations: an area variance for the side setback relief from Brookwood Avenue for a new fire station. Staff opinion is deferred to local consideration, and we do have an advisory note for this case. And it reads, all variance requests such as setback requirements should be assessed to evaluate zoning compliance of the proposed project before granting the final site plan approval. Next page.
Thank you very much.
Then,
See you guys. Be well. You too.
Thank you.
Lands of Lizette. Applicant's name, Charles Height Surveyor. Project location, 56 Plank Road. Referring agency, Town of New Scotland Planning Board. Subdivide the existing 8.23 acres into Lot 1 with 12.63 acres and Lot 2 with 5.87 acres. Staff opinion, defer to local consideration with an advisory note. And it reads, the site plan should indicate that the driveway to access Lot 1, if proposed, or a shared access agreement, including a maintenance agreement, should be referenced in the deeds for both properties if Lot 1 is to be accessed via Lot 2. Next case, Kiernan subdivision. Applicant's name is Owen Kiernan. Project location, 186 County Route 411. Referring agency, Town of Westerlo Planning Board / Zoning Board of Appeals. Consideration, subdivision of the parcel into Lot A with 52.23 acres and Lot B with 100.41 acres. Staff opinion, defer to local consideration. Next case, Hannaford Freezer Expansion. Applicant's name, Hannaford Supermarkets. Referring agency, Village of Voorheesville Planning Board. Site plan review for the expansion of an existing building to accommodate new freezer space and the placement of a 15 by 35 foot enclosed mechanical pod in the rear of the existing building. We could add that. The rear of the existing grocery store. And staff opinion is still defer to local consideration.
Those are all our differs.
Those are the deferred.
Those are all our differs.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Comments? None being offered, can we have a motion to? Motion. Second. And second. I concur.
Okay.
Now, with the burn.
She did the check. Before you got here, they made a decision to pull the burn solar application from the list of defers to discuss separately.
It's on page 8.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
and the only guest we have in person is for those two cases of Halloween.
We have the applicant online. We'll get through the case for the solar project.
Okay,
Oh, you want to do that first? Okay. Do solar project next.
yeah,
Solar. Here's what you said. It's burning solar.
okay, next case. Burn PV LLC Tier 3 solar application. Applicant's name is Burn PV LLC. Look, the project location is 28 Jansen Lane. Referring agency is the Town of Burn Planning Board. Site plan review, considerations, site plan review and the special use permit to develop. We actually have three things: site plan review, we should say area variance too, there.
Right.
Area variance, all right. To develop a new distribution generation solar photovoltaic generation facility. Area variances are required for the setback from the southern parcel boundary and wetland boundaries. The staff opinion is defer to local consideration. The board has found that the proposed action will have no impact upon jurisdictional determinant referring to this case, nor will it have significant countywide or intermunicipal impact. Okay, the reason we pulled this is I looked at it and I've got some questions. So if we had a representative
I'm gonna share my screen.
Mhm.
You want me to zoom in more, or is this good?
That's good.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have do we have a representative from the solar?
We do.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. My name is Peter Sorgi. I'm the project attorney, but also Weston Hilligus is here. He's the project manager and
Hello.
could probably answer the specifics a little better.
Okay. Do we really need the solar panels to require the area variance? Can't we downsize this and get away from the area variance?
Yeah, at that point, we may not have the economics of a project at that point. We originally had a design in the middle of the parcel that expanded to the north. So we were further away from the southern boundary, but we had a wetland consultant get out there and do wetland delineations and environmental impact surveys, and realized the center of the parcel was the majority wetland and forested habitat. So we pushed the whole array design down to the south in what is mostly agricultural hay fields to lessen the impact to the environment. And taking into consideration as well as the nearest home is, I want to say, 1,900 feet from that southern parcel boundary, and there's a thick wooded vegetation kind of separating out that area.
I just wanted to add, I mean, in terms of the area variance, you're referring to one of the 5 factors.
The
whether there's
buffers.
a feasible, I'm sorry?
Yeah, the buffers, you're encroaching on the property line, and it's like, it seems like we could have had a little more, I know NYSERDA, I thought was discouraging putting these things in agricultural land. Or, this is, fairly decent agricultural land.
Yeah, Ag and Markets actually is I think working on something that works with solar on agricultural land. So I'm
Yeah,
not
they
aware
don't
of anything that NYSERDA has said with
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Now
But
you guys are,
it's zoned properly is kind of the point. So the town has said these are the zoning districts we wanted in. We don't need a use variance or a rezoning.
okay.
In terms of the area variance, I mean, one of the 5 factors is there a feasible alternative? And I think what Weston's saying is to have a project of the size that we want, the alternatives would put the project into many different parts and just have other impacts. This was the best impact, and we do understand that it requires 2 variances, but the overall test for a variance is benefit to the applicant versus detriment to the health, safety, welfare of the community. As he stated, if we had this on an aerial, which I think is in the packet, there's really not much around, and there's natural buffering as well. So that's why we located it here.
Do you guys,
Crazy.
how are you gonna handle the runoff from these panels? Are they, I see there's wetlands or whatever, or if and when these panels create any erosion problems on there, are they gonna get fixed, or is the ground gonna get fixed, or?
Yeah, we did a SWIP analysis and it determined that there's no net runoff or it's under the standards that DEC kind of puts out there for these farms.
Yeah.
So we do abide by that, and it does say in the SWIP, and I'm sorry I don't have it off the top of my head right now. I don't have my engineer here with me either, so apologies for that. But we do remain under the threshold for that.
Because I know DEC was gonna update some of their regulations for these that are on slopes. And because they found erosion on other farms.
All right. Well, DEC is going to have to issue a speed use permit ultimately on
Yep.
this. So, if they issue it, it's going to come like every other DEC permit any of us have ever seen it, with about 15 different conditions, and they do monitor those, as will we.
Mhm. Now I see you there's a proposed maintenance plan, which I actually think is pretty good. I actually like the schedule of maintenance who's gonna make sure that you really do the maintenance? Are you self inspected, or is the town got a strong arm you to do it, or?
Well, I mean, Weston can address what they usually do, but it'll be a condition of whatever approval the town gives us. So this is obviously a substantial investment. If we don't do what we say, the town can actually come in and rescind the permit. So
With the special use
we can
permit,
tell
yeah.
you we're going to do it because we're good guys, and that's the truth. But the other side of it is, if we didn't do it, we're going to be throwing away an awful lot of money.
I worry about a small town with very limited staff. Who's gonna go look at it?
They do have a building inspector at this town, so.
Yeah,
John
they
Hyde
do,
will-
but how many times a year is he gonna go there? That's the
No,
other.
I get what you're saying. I mean, we've been in front of the town, I think 3 or 4 different times, and at each meeting we've met the building inspector is very involved. They have an engineer, a consultant that has been at every meeting. So it's been a pretty well-run process so far. I do understand your point. I mean, I think Weston can speak to the history of other sites with this company if you wanted him to.
Yeah, and I just want to add too, if we do get to the process of getting a building permit, once an EPC contractor comes on board, there'll be a more, I want to say thorough, but an operation maintenance plan as well that'll go along with that EPC contractor that actually builds this project.
And typically, there's inspection fees for the town to hire a third-party inspector to come out if they don't have people in-house that can do it.
Mhm. When you build the let's say, permeable road in with that geogrid material, right? You're gonna extend that road or pathway to get to it. I would like to see it. I would like to see it done. I'm interested in that. Having worked at the Albany County Department of Public Works for 31 years, I've heard about those products, but I've never seen them put in. I'd like to see what I think of it or if it really works. I'd like to see it put in.
Okay.
If I could get a heads up, I would appreciate it. It would help.
Yeah.
Help us
Absolutely.
get some background in that stuff.
Absolutely. I believe there's a detail as well in the civil site plan depicting that as well, but I know.
Yes, I
understand
saw this. I saw it. That's what triggered my question.
Yeah. Yeah, and I apologize, I don't have my engineer here with me, but I believe that is a temporary road. So once the project is built, that will be taken out and decompacted and put back. Yeah, okay, you're aware.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I looked at this pretty closely.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else with any questions? Do we have a motion to accept staff opinion?
Are we accepting the defer?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any advisories? Nope. Okay.
I motion.
Second.
All in favor? There you go.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yep,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Four-story mixed-use building.
Page 25.
Page 25.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, next case, four-story mixed-use building, applicant, Reagan Development Corporation. Project location, 130 Ontario Street. Site plan review for the construction of a four-story mixed-use building to accommodate 76 dwelling units with a combined plus or minus 11,900 square foot of daycare center and community center space on the first floor and accompanying 52 off-street parking places. Staff opinion, modify local approval to include the applicant should meet all the stormwater regulations of the city of Albany. Should meet all the stormwater regulations of the city of Albany are met before granting final approval of the project. And advisory note, and the advisory note reads, the city should ensure that there are enough parking spaces for the proposed use to avoid any traffic congestion. You got the pipe up there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments?
Inside of, there's no parking normally to begin with.
Exactly. That's what we run into with all these.
But the city code doesn't require them to provide parking. It's not a requirement, so.
That's why we include our notes.
Everybody, yeah.
Motion.
Yeah. A second.
Second.
Third.
Okay.
Okay. Next case, proposed pad site, applicant's name, CP 900 Central LLC / Cross Point Associates. Project location 900 Central Avenue. Referring agency, the City of Albany Planning Board. Considerations, site plan review for the proposed 2 pad sites with an underutilized area of the parking lot. One use is a proposed coffee shop drive-through, and the other, a quick serve restaurant with a drive-through pickup window. Staff opinion is modified local approval to include review by the Albany County Department of Health for food service and other necessary permits should be required. Advisory note, the applicant should be required to reevaluate parking circulation with the two new structures. And I actually had a comment. I called GoPeak and said, what is a pad site? And a pad site is apparently a slab where they're going to stick up two small structures inside of this parking lot. And, you know, but they should figure out how the traffic's going to flow through there.
Right.
You know, as they try to increase flow through the lot and increase, you know, business in all the stores, I would imagine. But that's it.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, next case, Louisi Companies. Applicant, Louisi Companies, dash Chuck Pafundi. Project location, 196 Maple Avenue. State Route 396, Selkirk. Consider our referring agency, Town of Bethlehem Planning Board. Considerations. Site plan review for the redevelopment of an existing property into two new buildings. The existing buildings that remain will be improved with new siding and roofs. Okay, staff opinion. Modify local approval to include 1, a notice of intent filed with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation affirming that a stormwater pollution prevention plan has been prepared and is being implemented, or submission of a stormwater pollution prevention plan, SWIP, that is consistent with the requirements included in the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation SPEED's general permit for stormwater discharges, GP-0-24-001, effective January 3rd, 2024. For the construction activities that disturb more than 1 acre of land should be required before final approval. Any questions?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, next project. Asia Food Market, applicant, Ren Garden Group, Inc. Project location, 1130 Central Avenue. Referring agency, Town of Colony Planning Board. Considerations. Site plan review for the proposed construction of new business hub, which consists of proposed 31,200 square foot Asia Food Market building with an attached 5,000 square foot warehouse, a 10,800 square foot retail building, and a 12,100 square foot warehouse with an attached 2,400 square foot office. Okay. Staff opinion is modify local approval to include 1, review and permits by the New York State Department of Transportation for commercial property development plans involving new or modified access to a state highway or involve any change of use or expansion of an existing development on a state highway should be required. Note number 2, review by the Albany County Department of Health for water supply. Wastewater discharge and other necessary permits should be required. And again, note number 3, a notice of intent filed with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation affirming that a stormwater pollution prevention plan has been prepared and is being implemented, or the submission of a stormwater pollution prevention plan SWIP that is consistent that is consistent with the requirements included in the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Speedies General Permit for Stormwater Discharges, GP-0-24-001, effective January 3rd, 2024, for the construction activities that disturb more than 1 acre of land should be required to final approval. Do you have any comments?
Is there an updated speedies permit for 2025?
The language is the same.
Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. We'll look.
They only change them every few years. They don't change them every year.
I was just making sure.
Any comments, questions?
Okay.
Motion? Second?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Next case. Casella Waste Management Fuel Tank Replacement. Applicant Michaels, Stayham, and David Glover, property location 136 Sicker Road. Referring agency, Town of Colony Planning Board. Site plan review to replace the underground storage tank with a small above storage tank for fueling of hauling trucks and vehicles. Staff opinion is modified local approval to include review by the FAA and notification to the Albany Airport Authority for FAA FAR Part 77 aeronautical impact for temporary construction related and structural incursions within the prescribed runway approach surfaces. Then note number 2, review by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to determine potential jurisdiction under bulk petroleum storage regulations and that the underground storage tank systems both meet 6 NYCRR Part 613 and Federal 40 CFR 280 regulations should be required. Comments, questions? Motion,
Second.
all in favor?
Hi.
Okay, next case. Project name, Chick-fil-A. Applicant's name is Chick-fil-A. Project location, 579 Troy Schenectady Road. Referring agency, Town of Colony Planning Board. Consideration, site plan review for the redevelopment of the former Brick House restaurant to a 5,000 square foot quick serve restaurant with drive-through, on-site parking, and a stormwater management system, utilities, landscaping, and other associated appurtenances. Okay. Modify, staff opinion is modified local approval to include a notice of intent filed with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation affirming that a stormwater pollution prevention plan has been prepared as being implemented, or submission of a stormwater pollution plan, SWIP, that is consistent with the requirements included in the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Speedies General Permit for stormwater discharges. GP-0-24-001, effective January 3rd, 2024, for the construction activities that disturb more than 1 acre land should be required prior to final approval. Note number 2, review by the Albany County Department of Health for food service and other necessary permits should be required. Note number 3, the proposed right-hand turn channelizing island is too small to prevent through and left turn movements. The applicant should consider channelizing the right turn from Aaron Street into the Dick's parking lot. If the roundabout is chosen, A sign on the access road instructing exiting traffic to U-turn at the roundabout should be provided. Note number 4, notification should be given to the New York State Department of Transportation for signal timing and a general safety evaluation. What this is in regards to is they're going to build a roundabout on that driveway, and it's going to affect the Chick-fil-A, but DOT should get a chance to look at it, because if this roundabout somehow affects their state highway and their signals out there, they should be able to adjust or perhaps offer some suggestions to make it better.
I was gonna ask that, because I didn't see anything about that.
No, I didn't see it either, and I had asked earlier, asked Jim to look at it and go peek it, and Jim came up with stuff. So I'm good with this. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Annie Restaurant. Applicant's name is Yi Lee. Project location 567 Waterville East Shaker Road. Referring agency, Town of Colony Planning Board. Consideration, site plan review. Construction of approximately 2,000 square foot ramen noodle restaurant and bubble tea store. Staff opinion is modified local approval to include. Number 1, review by the Albany County Department of Health for food service and other necessary permits should be required. Number 2, review and permits by New York State Department of Transportation for commercial property development plans involving new or modified access to a state highway or involve any change of use or expansion of the existing development on a state highway should be required. Any questions or comments?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, lands of Gulf Shore Futures LLC. Applicant's name, Gulf Shore Future LLC. Location 219 Manans Road. Referring agency, Town of Colony Planning Board. Subdivision of the parcel with existing dwelling and garage into 2 lots for a new dwelling. Staff opinion is modified local approval to include review and permits by the New York State Department of Transportation for commercial property development plans involving new or modified access to a state highway or involving any change of use or expansion of an existing development on a state highway should be required.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next case, Lincoln Avenue Development LLC, Phase 1B. Applicant, Lincoln Avenue Development LLC. Project location 8051 and 8055 through 8061 First Street. Referring agency, Town of Colony Planning Board. Considerations, subdivision of the properties and construction of a 60,000 square foot single floor warehouse / office building within the existing industrial / office park development. Staff opinion. Modified local approval to include a notice of intent filed in the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation affirming that a stormwater pollution plan has been prepared and is being implemented, or submission of a stormwater pollution plan, SWIP, that is consistent with the requirements included in New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Speedy's general permit for stormwater discharges. GP-0-24-001 effective January 3rd, 2024 for construction activities that disturb more than 1 acre of land should be required prior to final approval. 2, the local fire department should be notified to evaluate for public safety, emergency services, water availability, and any sprinkler system that may be required by building code. We also have an advisory note. The town should consider the cumulative effect of the revised stormwater pollution plan to avoid stormwater runoff and adverse impacts. This is a site that has a SWIP. They're building building a new building. And the revised plan should fit with the existing plan to make sure there's no adverse impacts.
And this is a development we've seen in the past, and this has been developing in phases.
In phases
Yeah,
and
so the stormwater impacts can be cumulative, and I think that should reflect in this slide.
yeah. Any questions, comments? Motion?
Okay,
Yep.
second,
Implementation and Brian Gray.
All right. Next, Stewart Shop, applicants, Stewart's Shop Court, project location, 1024 Waterloo Shaker Road and 140 Bly Road. Referring agency, Town of Colony Planning Board. Consideration, site plan review for the construction of a new 4,500 square foot convenience store with self-service gasoline filling. Staff opinion, modified local approval to include review by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to determine potential jurisdiction under bulk petroleum storage regulations, and that the underground storage tank system should meet both state 6 NYCRR Part 613 and federal 40 CFR 280 regulations should be required. Advisory notes, the town should encourage the addition of electric vehicle charging units, EV charging units. They're building a new store. It's the perfect time to put them in if they're gonna.
I mean, the most recent ones, they've been sneaking.
Yeah, and I don't see any on this one. So I don't understand. I didn't see them. I thought,
Yeah,
why not?
I recall in Bethlehem, they pushed,
Yeah, they-
Stewart's pushed back.
But they wanted to put them in.
Stewart's wanted to put them in?
They wanted to put them in the one in Bethlehem, the one on what's the
Nine.
W.
Yes,
I think they put them in.
I'm not sure. And I've been there. Now
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah, I think they did.
Okay.
I think it's right next to the road. So if you pull right past it into the store,
You don't see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So you're right. And a lot of the new ones, you do see them. So maybe they just, no.
Okay.
That's why it's an advisory note, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motion,
Jeff.
second.
Second.
Great. He was listening. Come on in and take a seat. You can sit at the table or sit there, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, project name, Mini Mart, applicant, Osborne Ventures LLC, project location 465 Old Shaker Road. Referring agency, Town of Colony Zoning Board of Appeals, special use permit for the proposed construction of a 6,730 square foot mini mart with fuel canopy and 8 multi-pump dispensers. Okay, staff opinion, modified local approval to include review by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to determine potential jurisdiction under bulk petroleum storage regulations, and that the underground storage tank systems meet both state number 6 NYCR Part 613 and federal 40 CFR 280 regulations should be required. 2, the town should consider, or the town should plan for the upcoming capital projects on County Route 151 and consider right turns only on Osborne Road for safety purposes.
The guest.
Okay,
Or
you have a guess? Would
this
you like
case and the
to
next one, right?
speak, or do you have any?
Sure. My name is Jared George, Osborne Ventures, and we had a traffic study completed that warranted full access on both curb cuts. We're consolidating probably over 5 curb cuts into 2 in this property, so we see that as an improvement. So we respectfully believe and feel confident from our traffic consultant VHB that we can have full access on both Osborne and Alton Shaker.
Did we have those?
The traffic impact study. I'll have to look. We just have a lot of materials this month. I just
Yeah,
can't
The
remember.
town probably didn't just
Well, we do have a traffic engineer here that works with us, and if we didn't see him,
You're right. We met with Jim about that prior.
Yes, Jim mentioned that he had got the site plans for
Yeah.
this one and the next one we'll be looking
Yeah.
at. So he's got the permission.
So while we understand that's your,
We probably didn't receive this because we're looking for a special use permit and this is town of Colony and ZBA reviews the special use
Right.
permits. So I believe once they progress through this special use permit and have more details on the project, we'll receive the traffic impact.
Mhm.
analysis.
okay.
So we'll see this again.
We'll see this.
Yeah, we're gonna see this again, all right. Okay, well, we'll let our notes stand for now, and then we'll see it back.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I motion. Second.
Favor?
All in favor?
Right.
Next one.
Second?
Yeah,
I had Tishan and, was it Kate?
No,
Jeff.
no.
I had Jeff.
I just.
You just said, I agree.
Exactly.
All right, that's what I had. I had it right.
For Jeff, second.
next case, Quick Check Mini Mart. Applicants, Broad and Thomas Partners, LLC. Project location, 681 Albany Shaker Road. Referring agency, Town Colony Planning Board. Consideration, site plan review to operate the least 2.9 acres of the parcel as mini mart with a gasoline fueling canopy. Okay, staff opinion is review by the FAA and notification to the Albany Airport Authority for FAR Part 77, aeronautical impact for temporary construction related and structural incursions within the prescribed runway approach surfaces should be required. Note number 2, notice of 10, filed with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation affirming that a stormwater pollution prevention plan has been prepared and is being implemented, or submission of a stormwater pollution prevention plan, a SWIP, that is consistent with the requirements included in the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Speedies General Permit for stormwater discharges, GP-0-24-001, effective January 3rd, 2024. Construction activities that disturb more than 1 acre of land should be required prior to final approval. Note number 3, a highway work permit from the Albany County Department of Public Works for driveway construction, drainage, and public utility connections within the county right of way is required. Okay. So
That's yours as well.
yes,
that's yours. Do you have any comments or anything further?
no comments on that, other than just for the final, any idea when the decisions are sent to Colony? They asked just because they're trying to coordinate when we're getting on the zoning boards.
The recommendation letters will be sent out either tomorrow or
Okay.
early next week. To be
Okay.
sent to the town, and the town should be able to
Sure, yeah,
give it to you.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Motion, second.
All in favor?
I,
Okay. Project name, commercial buildings. Applicant, Locuzio Construction, LLC, at project location 634 Route 146. Referring agency, Town of Gilroy Zoning Board of Appeals. Special use consideration, special use permit for the construction of 4 commercial totaling 42,500 square foot and associated parking, stormwater practices, and utilities. We're gonna go right to staff opinion. Staff opinion right now is modify local approval to include review by the Albany County Health Department for water supply, wastewater discharge, and other necessary permits should be required. 2, this site plan indicates 4,165 square feet wetland impact. Any wetland disturbance will require notification to and review by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for permits under Section 404 of the Clean Water Act. Number 3, the applicant should be required to follow NYS Department of Environmental Conservation 6 NYCRR Part 664 amendments that took effect January 1st, 2025. The proposed project should be required to comply with jurisdictional criteria and obtain any necessary review and permits by NYS DEC prior to final approval. Number 4, the local fire department should be notified to evaluate for public safety, emergency service, water availability, and any sprinkler system that may be required by building code. Number 5, the town should consider the nature of the proposed use as a contractor yard and ensure that Black Creek is not endangered with potential contamination and leakage. Okay. Anybody got any questions? I got it. You got this up? Is this up?
This is the second one.
This shouldn't be so close to the Black Creek. Because in the future, if we don't know what they're going to store in these buildings. All right. And there's 100-foot buffer in there within it. This is not, he's here because they've already, the town board doesn't want to act on this.
The town board is not going to make a decision until they get a review or a report from DEC. This is what was mentioned in the town planner's memo.
Yes. And this is, they should either move buildings and move away from the creek or rethink this. This is, we're trying to cram too much on this lot.
They could change their layout.
They change their layout, change the size of the buildings
Already use one of the buildings.
or remove one of the buildings and then so their impact is much less.
so your concern is drainage into the creek?
And when you have storage buildings, okay, we can be told today that for the next 3 years, somebody's gonna lease it and they're just gonna put hay bales in there. Well, then 5 years later, when they put drums of something else in there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Mhm.
And who knows how these buildings are built or what they decided,
And there could be soil contamination, there could be water contamination.
That's right.
Environmental impacts.
Disagree.
No, this isn't This is,
It's also on wetlands too, right?
yeah,
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, to the wetland impact.
It's close to their 100 feet
Buffers and
buffer zone, but there is still wetland impact
Yeah.
as they've shown.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you move it, you're gonna, there's a potential that you would have more of an impact on more wetlands than the current.
yeah, without downside,
Right,
without downside.
right. But what they would probably try to do is extend the land or extend it, you know what I mean? And take over more of the wetlands to move it. I mean, it doesn't apply to us, but that's just a thought.
Sorry, what are you proposing to?
Oh no, I'm just talking out loud, really. I mean, there's the impacts on the wetland, and then it's close to the Black Creek. I agree with both of those.
Yeah.
And I think this creek connects to the reservoir that's of drinking water for
Yeah,
the-
those are the.
Yeah.
for Gilderman and City of Warren.
Yes. Yes.
We didn't see this before, did we?
No,
There was something
There's
else we
another
saw
one
that
that
impact,
was-
yeah, that's what I wasn't sure of.
that was right next to the reservoir. This connects to the reservoir. So it's close by. It's in the same area.
So just again, out of clarity, they're just saying these are empty warehouses for now.
For now.
Right?
Yeah.
But the concern is,
But the concern is that
what is going
right,
in there?
right.
And are there,
We don't have any enforcement authority of what they put in there.
No.
Nobody.
I think once the warehouse is built, and it's in a rural agricultural district, they get the special use permit.
They can do
I don't know
it.
to what extent they're going to regulate what's going to be in the warehouse.
And so why? So again, why is the town hesitant, or what was that I heard earlier?
Well, they're waiting to hear from DEC. DEC
DEC.
may not like this at all. It's so close to the water supply.
I don't see why they would want to wait on that, but if they can make a determination.
And just say no.
The town's zoning board of appeals is the lead agency on this case, meaning that the town ZBA will be making the final decision. And before they make the final decision, they need the planning board's recommendations and review in their memo. They need possibly all the other agencies that's involved with the review, like our review and recommendations before the ZBA makes the decision. And in the town planner's memo, it stated that the town planning board may not have its comments and recommendations and review before the DEC provides its comments. And that's because DEC has amended their wetland regulations, and it's going to cover a lot of the wetlands, and they've just, I think, drastically increased their jurisdiction and a lot more steps and a lot more processes, which takes more time for the review. So there's just a lot going on here.
I wonder if we should disapprove this with the note that since the DEC has changed their regulations and it's not clear to anyone what it is, maybe this thing should be disapproved for now until
Yes, clarity.
until you receive.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because I mean we would be approving it, and then once you approve it and it goes through the process, and let's say they get whatever approvals they need,
Unless DEC kills it
right? There's no way to
back out.
back out, right? And to me, there's just not enough. It's like, hey, all right, we're gonna build a warehouse, but
To me, it just isn't, we don't know enough.
right. I agree with that.
I agree also.
so what is just thinking to past cases, I know sometimes you folks would have to balance we make a disapproval and they do the supermajority vote over us.
Well, they still can do that.
Right, absolutely, versus doing the modified, then at least those have to be there, so
We
But-
usually tend to disapprove with the comments.
We disapprove.
So we put the comments in still. Okay,
And
that's what I was checking.
one of our discussion is the DEC's wetland regulations, which is our third.
Third
They're
one.
coming anyway.
And that's really, you know.
I mean, I think we had something like this a couple meetings ago,
Yes, we did.
but it was like, we knew exactly what they were gonna be doing in that space.
Mhm.
Right.
That's what makes a difference.
Mhm.
Then compared to
So this is
the.
coming back to us.
Nope.
This
No.
may come back to us if they're proposing a new layout
I
and
see.
say,
If it gets revised, yeah.
their design, then we probably will see it again. But if it's the same proposal, then we won't.
Would it give you more comfort if they, because they're proposing 4 buildings, if they propose like 2, but if they scale the
Yes,
size?
They get a little farther away from the creek, it would.
Yeah.
And they should have, the town should probably instruct them. I mean, maybe the town should regulate what they store in those buildings. You know, what can they be used for? What are, again, if you're, the example being, if we're gonna store hay, agricultural products, it's one thing. But if we're just gonna store barrels of oil or,
Mhm.
you know, automobile solvents or
Fertilizer or something.
but who knows? You wouldn't want to leak. And then, you know, and then you run into bulk petroleum storage
True.
and tanks and
Mhm.
all this stuff to
And then that
protect
becomes
the
a
water
brownfield,
supply.
and that's
I mean, does it really need to be there? That's the thing.
We can add that as another opinion, or
okay. Yep.
Sure.
To
you can-
regulate the contents of the
Yeah.
materials.
if possible.
If possible. You know,
As modifiers of advisory. And I know we haven't decided yet what we're doing for our final vote. But
right,
It will be a modified.
yeah.
yeah. So then we need the wording that we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, the town should regulate what is stored in there.
Storage
Supposed to.
materials. To ensure or avoid
Possible contamination.
visual contamination.
Good.
The town should regulate the storage materials to ensure or avoid potential contamination.
Yeah. I guess now, do we want to leave it as a modifier or do we want to disapprove?
I mean, me personally, I'm gonna vote against it, but that's just me.
You're
I
voting
mean,
for, you're leaning towards disapproval.
Yeah, just because, I mean, if you approve it, and again, you get the approvals. And
Yep.
we see this all the time, people get approvals, they say, all right, it's gonna be agricultural or whatever, and then 3 months in,
It's not.
it's not, and
I'm comfortable with that. A disapproval. We don't do it very often, but this isn't, you know,
yeah, I mean, it's close to the Black Creek and you're affecting wetlands, so they're like,
Mhm.
if it was one or the other, okay, then you could say, all right, well, maybe, but it's both.
yep,
And again, we don't know what.
What they're gonna do.
we have no idea.
Easy.
Right.
No,
With all the impervious surfaces, there's going to be a lot of stormwater runoff, which could also
Okay.
contaminate the water.
yeah,
So if we disapprove, the only way the project can move forward is that if the Gilderland board does a super majority.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they can override us.
But it also doesn't sound like we would do that unless.
No, it doesn't sound like
It's back.
they're waiting for everything to come in and it sounds like they're being pretty careful.
And there is, I believe there are public competition for this project, and Robin Gray, who is very active, actually looking into projects like this. She was on the call, but she's not here anymore, but I believe she was here, she would have more to comment on this. So there are some, publics that are against this project. So
Anybody have a
the
motion?
question or recommendation. Even if they decide to super
Yeah.
supermajority, but they would
Still get all the comments.
they would question why our recommendations have not been met or considered.
So it would be 6 reasons for disapproval if you guys decide to vote for disapproval, right? The 5 that are here and the one you just mentioned.
Motion to disapprove.
I second.
Okay.
I concur.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, who seconded?
I did.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next case, lands of Bulldog and Murray. Applicant's name is Cindy Elliott. 49 Clip Road, project location 49 Clip Road and 50 Rock City Road. Minor subdivision to create 1 new parcel and 2 lot line adjustments. Our staff opinion is modify local approval to include review and permits by New York State Department of Transportation for commercial property development plans involving new or modified access to a state highway, or involve any change of use or expansion of an existing development on a state highway should be required. Comments?
A motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next case. Open Space and Natural Resource Plan. The applicant's name, Town of New Scotland. Referring agency, Town of New Scotland Legislative Board. Considerations. Adoption of a townwide plan to identify and preserve open spaces and natural resources in the town of New Scotland. This open space and natural resource protection plan is based on a natural resource inventory adopted by the town in June 2024 and serves. Do we have some?
Yes, there's a language, but it's cut off, so.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
No,
Yeah, meaning,
you didn't catch it either.
There's a lot of reading. A lot of reading this month.
we,
Open space.
this is hard to read.
And serves.
Oh, it's the second line. It's the second line, strategic guide.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, serves as a strategic guide to safeguard the town's open spaces and natural resources while balancing environmental protection with sustainable growth. That's long.
Yes. I'm glad you could see it too. My glasses are good, and I'm glad you can read it. Okay, that's the language.
Yes, that's just the first sentence.
Okay.
That's what would have been.
Yeah.
That's what would have been on there.
Yeah.
Good, thank you. So we go to staff opinion, modify local approval to include. Number one, notification of the open space and natural resource protection plan should be sent to all adjacent municipalities pursuant to GML 239-N. Any comments? Motion,
Yeah.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Hey, so
The minutes, maybe?
we've got what?
I said, when you're ready,
Oh.
we go back to the meeting.
Yes, meeting minutes. Thank you.
Sure.
After Kate got here, we can handle voting on the January 2025 meeting minutes. Brian, Kate, and Jeff are able to vote on this. Do we have any questions or additions or changes that we want to those meeting minutes? I'm in favor.
Second.
Brian and Kate. And Jeff agrees.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Whew.
Unfinished business. Remember that we are in need of another board member. If you know of someone who may be interested, let Gopika know. In addition, please give as much notice as possible if you are unable to attend a meeting. New business, Number 8, the next meeting of the Albany County Planning Board will be Thursday, March 20th. And the deadline for municipalities to submit referral items for review will be on Monday, March 10th, 2025. And please let us know if you think you may have a conflict.
Hi, Susan. I just saw that you just logged back in. I just want to let you know that we are at the end of our meeting and we looked at all.
Fine, thank you. I'm sorry I had to leave. I had another Zoom meeting scheduled actually at the same time. So thank you.
Okay, all right. Thanks,
Thank you.
Susan. Maybe
I
adjourn.
just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Today's Sean at
All right, we made it, bud.
4:49.
We made
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
You gotta go.
Yeah, my life is